everyone, this is the Ask Dr. Renee show, and in case you have never come here before, this show is here to motivate and inspire you to live the life you deserve, because let's face it, you only have one life. You can't do this over. This is not dress rehearsal. This is it. So I try to bring amazing stories to you of people who I feel like they're living their life that they deserve, and I think it might motivate and inspire you to do the same. So today's guest is, of course, just the same. She's living a really fabulous life, but she also happens to be a fellow West Indian. And as it being Caribbean Heritage Month, we're trying to plug as many as we can, because a lot of people, you know, outside of music stuff, people don't necessarily know that we do a lot of other things. And when you find out what Vanessa does, you're going to be like, oh, I've heard her. So everyone, welcome Vanessa James.
Hi, Renee. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm so excited to be here. Congratulations on your platform and your show. I actually went on YouTube and I'm like, hold on. 90,050, 11 episodes. Like, okay, episode list. I'm like, Renee's been busy. So everybody's catching up now as they're like, oh, I want to start a podcast. Oh, I want to do a digital series. And Renee's like, oh, I've been at this. Let me tell you how to do it.
Yeah, this is actually, I think this will be episode 102, I think.
Wow.
I have to look again. But yeah, so, you know, we've been doing this a little bit. But and then in COVID, what I did was I was like, well, we can come even more because people need content. So yeah, so we've been trying to just, you know, hammer them out in COVID. But Vanessa, please tell everyone, first of all, you were born in Trinidad, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Born Trinity to the bone.
So when did you come? And I used to say are lovely, but I'm not sure it's so lovely anymore. When did you come to the United States of America?
I moved, actually, so my parents moved when I was 2. And then after that, we moved to St. Croix first. So I actually lived in St. Croix and went to elementary school there. And then in elementary school, moved to the U.S., to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in the, I want to say mid-'80s.
Okay.
So I spent about 85 until now here. And I've always been a Florida girl. I've lived up and down, went to school at Florida State University, did some radio work in Tampa, and then moved down to Fort Lauderdale, started with the Sun Sentinel, and then started full-time radio in terms of in a major market in Miami here as program director, music director, and on the air at 103.5 The Beat for a brief time here in Miami, which I absolutely love, before transitioning to my own media company in 2010.
So, what is it? Yeah, just a little bit. Just look, just a typical West Indian woman, of course. So when you were growing up, did you know you wanted to be in radio?
When I was growing up, I actually had a huge stuttering problem. So no.
No, but you know what? Wait, pause. You know, a lot of people that talk now for a living, not myself, but a lot of them, Steve Harvey had a stuttering problem. A lot of people don't know. Yeah,
So I think for me, Renee, so to answer your question, no, I always knew that I wanted to be in some form of media. I actually really wanted to be a sportscaster. I loved Robin Roberts, her style. And when I moved from St. Croix to the US, we lived with my cousins and they were obsessed with football and the San Francisco 49ers and Jerry Rice and all of that. But I fell in love with the storytelling. John Madden at the time was such an amazing storyteller, right? And then I would look at this beautiful, tall Black woman, Robin Roberts, with all her savvy, and Pam, Pam Oliver doing the sideline reporting for Monday Night Football. And I'm like, I want to do that. So I used to kind of mock them and in front of my cousins, like, do it and mock them or whatever. And just kind of build up my skills that way. And it was horrible to start. But whenever, I got in front of big crowds, I just would lock up and start to stutter. And I really think that had a lot to do with the accent, to be quite honest with you. And a Trinidadian accent, I wouldn't say is as strong, like, let's say, as a Jamaican accent, but it's hard to break in terms of enunciation and just do like a modern traditional American English. So I think that transition is where my stuttering came in, and really the nervousness about crowds and speaking in front of people. But radio really helped me break that, and especially being on the air at 4 a.m. in the graveyard shift, you can make all the mistakes. So I really started to break out of that, and then realize that I was just talking to a girlfriend and take off all the pressure of feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm talking to 2 million people right now. No, I'm talking to Renee, and we're talking about the new Mary J. Blige album, and so and so and so and so. So that's really how I started to get into a rhythm and a flow and break out of that.
That is awesome. So what was your major at Florida State?
I majored in mass communications, minored in Spanish, so yeah, that's what I did at FSU. And then I came back home and did a stint at FIU, but I didn't pursue it because at that time, career-wise, everything was moving very quickly. And then my company, I really just dived into the workforce. But what I will say is I have been diving back into one-off courses. So I am doing a business refresher, a stock portfolio refresher, and even a writing class that I'm taking online right now, just to kind of keep things fresh.
Okay, I see. So you already said it. Vanessa James Media was created in 2010. Now, was it created out of necessity, or was it created because you were like, I really, it's great working for radio, but I know that there's some things I could do, and I could do this and get paid myself to do it?
So no, my situation was completely out of necessity. In 2010, my station was flipping. I was at that time the team leader, program director for 7 people, and they laid all of us off. I didn't think that I was getting laid off, so like as it was coming and we were hearing rumors about the station flipping, I went to my boss and said, hey, what's going on? I want to make sure that my team is taken care of in the transition, whatever, that type of thing. And so they, at that time it was Clear Channel. Now it's iHeart. They offered me a job in San Francisco and I didn't take it. I just felt like I had put so much energy and roots and stock in Miami, not to mention it was so close to the Caribbean. And that's really where I feel the most at home and in flow. And anyway, I started doing freelance work while I was still at MIB. And my mentor at the time, Doug Turkel, told me, hey, V, send me an invoice for that, quick VO work that I would do with him. And I'm like, $200 to voice one paragraph? Okay, let's do this. And then I realized, hold on, Renee, I don't know how to send an invoice. I don't have an LLC. I don't know what Sunbiz is. So it was completely out of necessity as a way to get paid for freelance work before it was, just something that's really kind of how I started my LLC. It started off as a voiceover company that transitioned into a multi-platform media company.
Wow. So so besides him being your first client, so how did you get your first real client where you were like, okay, I went out for this pitch, or,
Yeah. For me, I was very blessed and still am very blessed to work with amazing people in the record and music business as well as radio. So for me, I really just thought about who could use voice work in the industry that I already was in. So I reached out to RCA, and at that time, and she's still there, baby Sam Salamane, she was the VP of urban marketing. And I was like, listen, if you ever have albums coming up that you want me to voice. So I would voice the Usher new releases and Alicia Keys and Molly and WizKid and like the Whitney Houston album, just a bunch of stuff that I've really had. It's been an honor to be able to lend my voice to. But I started just by asking my peers around me. So fellow program directors, I reached out. At that time, I was voicing, when I started in 2010, I voiced, when I say voice, I mean the actual radio imaging, all the contests, all the promos, all of the stuff that you hear in between the music and the DJs. It's called voiceover radio imaging. So I started in radio imaging, and now I voice 40 stations around the country. But I started off again with KTU New York, which is a pretty big one. Just reached out to their program director, who I was talking to all the time online as a PD, and said, hey, if there's ever an opportunity, let me know. And he said, send me a demo, and I did. And then I was like, hold on, I got to do a demo, like a legit one. So then I started again to take it seriously, Renee. And I'm like, okay, people like my voice, and it was multi-format. It was definitely not just urban. I was getting more work with the CHR and the pop stations, because I love to wordplay and and exaggerate and stretch things out. If it's like Taylor Swift or Katy Perry, I wasn't just subjected to just urban because I was a person of color. So I started doing a lot of voiceover work for CHR and pop stations around the country, MIA Miami, Hits 97.3, and KTU, and that is what has translated into voiceover for 40 stations and 5 brands, which is really exciting.
That is very exciting. So you do voiceover and you got that nailed. So when did you pivot into blogging and video? And
so because I'm Trinidadian and we love to have 25 jobs.
West Indian. It's not even just Trinis, because this Antiguan, has several as well. And last night I was speaking to Abeja, and just that's us.
It is us. We love to do that, and I love us for that. I transitioned really early on. So 2011, I was working with the Miami Broward Carnival down here, helping them do like actual event production, put the carnival on. And then I started getting a lot of other media jobs. Hey, I'd love to have you come do on-camera hosting for us for a little pop-up show. Did some quick little work parts for two TV stations down here. So it quickly started transitioning into hosting and then into content creation when blogging got really popular and buzzing around 2012, 2013. So I launched VanessaJamesMedia.com as a way to kind of have a hub of all those different things. And that's constantly evolving too. But the blogging and the content creation for me really came to a head when I started VJ Media Mixology, which is my annual event that I do down here in Miami. I realized that, okay, the radio people are not talking to the TV people. No one's talking to the bloggers and the influencers. No one's talking to the photographers and the content creators. They all need to talk and connect and collaborate. So I created an event. It's called VJ Media Mixology. This would have been the 7th year. Obviously, with COVID, it's going to be 2021. And really, it's the signature event for connection in Miami where people can come together, connect, and collaborate that normally don't get a chance to see each other. And then I've had the opportunity to bring brands into the mix to really meet all of them, right? People of influence here in South Florida. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes. Yes. So tell people about some of the video work that you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The video element for me is the most exciting. That's where I actually feel the most comfortable, in front of a camera and behind the mic for whatever reason. But then I really love the storytelling element and actually crafting out stories. So the video element really came along when, for instance, like Miami.com reached out and was like, hey, we're looking to do a series of videos. Would you be interested in hosting them? So we created this gateway called The Getaway, and it was quick little travel focused content and quick little zips from Miami. So we did Key West, we did Barbados, and I really got a chance to curate that from the ground up and start to build up my video repertoire. So and then really translated that into content. So being able to say, okay, well, this is what I want to do. Who would be interested in collaborating with me? And then I really started to gain traction in terms of pitching brands and saying, hey, I have this idea. I want to see it through. Would you be interested in somehow collaborating or lending me a car to do this bit, that type of thing. But video really started to gain momentum for me, probably 2014, 15, I started to team up with a lot of awesome photographers, and directors here, and we built out some really awesome video funnels. When I say funnels, I mean like just different series and one-offs and episodes for different things here in the market and nationwide. So it's been really fun.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I've heard you audio. I've seen your videos, like all of her media stuff is just amazing. And her blog is wonderful too. I always have to tell everyone the way that I know Vanessa is that we were at Essence Festival at a really fabulous dinner that our good friends from Agami Consulting put on, fellow West Indian Mike Warner.
Is that where we met?
That's where we met. My sister was sitting at the table with me. Yes. And it was a My Black is Beautiful dinner. And we just started talking, and she's like, "You're West Indian, I'm West Indian." And we ended up taking a really great picture with you, me, Mike, my sister, and the little West Indian connection that was there that night. So we had a great time. But I connected with Vanessa. She came to Chicago to do something. She's like, "You need to come," and so I went, and so I've just stayed in touch with her ever since. And then we actually ran into each other on the road last year at Carnival, which was so cool. Yeah, that was really cool. I was like, "Lish, look!" It's Vanessa.
Have I only seen you like in the streets 3 or 4 times, Renee? It feels like it's been so many more.
I know. And I mean, I think that and then of course we've done, Essence, the junket with, with Cafe Mocha Radio, you guys, amazing platform that Vanessa has voiced a lot of their products. And I was blessed to be on the team as well and do some social media stuff. So, yeah, it's just awesome. The things that you've done, but I want to talk about, especially with it being Caribbean Heritage Month, we want to talk about Caribbean people and business. And I know you're in Miami, so there's tons of them. Here in Chicago, I don't think there's that many. I am really, really interested to see, I do know there's a few restaurants, but I don't think that there's a whole ton outside of food, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah. But I know that's something that would definitely, I know that I would like to know, oh, this is owned by, this is, outside of food.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the question, Renee?
Yeah. So I'd like you to talk about Caribbean businesses as a, because especially in this platform now that we have where everyone wants to buy Black owned all of a sudden.
Yes.
So can you talk about, even maybe you could talk about some of the creative people that that are Caribbean, that are doing amazing things. And these are people that people could call on to work on all over the country. It doesn't have to be in your city.
Absolutely. Well, I feel like this is such an important moment for people across all spaces, because we are experiencing a reckoning right now as it relates to race relations and social justice in this country. And I think that also lends on an opportunity for us to really look within and see, well, who is doing amazing things that maybe that was not on my radar before, but now they are. And I could tap into them, whether it be graphics, social media, content creation, PR, whether it be an actual product, a printer, whatever it is. For me, man, I could go on and on about amazing Caribbean business owners that I know, at least 50 that are doing incredible things. What I will tell you is whatever it is that you are looking to do, there is a person of color that can help you amplify that, whether it be a product launch, whether it be a website launch, whether it be helping you funnel your business, whatever it is. For me, a couple that really stand out that I think are doing incredible things in the space are, for instance, Cara Donnell, she's doing an amazing job right now bringing women together. She has an event that's called the Caribbean Women's Power Lunch that she does throughout the Caribbean and here in the US, and that's gained a lot of traction. So if you're wanting to work with a female-led and owned company in that respect as it relates to connecting with other female entrepreneurs, she's a great resource. Definitely Miss Carla Hill. I love all things Carla Hill. She is an educator and is really an important person in terms of Miami and really connecting people in the educational space as it relates to highlighting arts and people of color. So I love what she's doing. Oh my goodness, Nicole. So Nicole White, I'm obsessed with her. She is the owner of Nicole White Designs, and she's an interior decorator. What I love that she's doing in Miami is she's doing stuff that's based here because that's where her business is based, but she's definitely getting national attention for her work. So, and I love that she's so interactive with her brand as it relates to interior decorating, and she's doing like hotel takeovers and just a lot of really cool things. Today, I think she's actually taking over the space with Basma St. John's new platform that she launched last week called Share the Mic, which is really exciting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So listen, again, the list could go on and on about and amazing, Caribbean creatives across all spectrums. What I would say is, again, if you're a person that's looking at this episode and thinking about ways that you can elevate Black voices in Black businesses, you don't have to look very far. That's really what I would say. We're everywhere. We're here to stay. We ain't going anywhere, and our voices matter too. So I think it's just an important time. But if I could say too, I think it's also a very important time for us as a collective community to harness our power and our voices. And now is not the time to be quiet. Not necessarily it doesn't necessarily have to be about protests and social justice, although that's very important. But what is it that you are doing within your own circle to elevate and amplify your culture and your community? So I just think it's a very important time, and we need to collectively come together and hold ourselves as a community accountable too for actually doing the work. And now that there's more space, and a platform for us to be able to have that work be seen by millions, let's take advantage of the opportunity.
So I am praying it still happens, but I was supposed to interview Mr. Killer, and one of the things, so he wasn't well, so he couldn't do it. But so one of the things that I saw on his radio show, and he brought a radio network in Grenada.
Yeah.
And so
last year, it's really good, actually.
Yeah, it is very Rebel Nation. And so he talked about with Allison Hines how soca needs to become a genre on iTunes and Spotify. And I know that you'd be one of the people behind that as well. And that's one of the things I really want to talk to him about, because of what has happened and because of the fact that a lot of people are still at home because of what's going on and they can't leave. You have undivided attention of people that you did not have before. And yes, people know soca. Some people don't. There's a lot of people still that don't. Unfortunately, soca is not.
Who?
I know that. Right. What's wrong with you? But unfortunately, there's not. Soca is not played on the radio like other Caribbean or even African music.
And soca right now soca is right now is so needed because it's happy music.
Exactly.
It's such an important genre to be played right now, collectively around the world. And I definitely think that, and I know that there's a lot of DJs, DJ Spice, Barry Hype, Ryan Saeed, Dr. J, Silk Prince, and Kes the Band, Masha Montano, a lot of different artists as well that have been championing this effort for iTunes to give soca its own category. I saw Ebro in the street and I was like, listen, man, talk to your people at Beats One and get us our own damn genre. It literally boils me inside when I log on and I see Kes the Band,
world music.
Hello, and it says world reggae music. No. To me, first of all, that is a definition of whitewashing Caribbean culture. It's not all just reggae. One thing, At the end, and even dance hall, as a subcategory is different from reggae. So at the end of the day, I think it's important for the executives, if they're looking at this podcast, for the executives in these roles to understand the importance of proper labeling. It's as if Taylor Swift, if you logged on and you saw all her albums under country, if Taylor saw that, she'd be like, as much as I love country, and that's probably where, a lot of her music was derived from, she wouldn't categorize herself as a country artist. So why should Kes the Band, or Mashal or Bunji or Mr. Killer or whoever be categorized as world music? Or it is world music, but it's soca music. And in order for soca to be amplified and have its own identity, it needs its own category.
Yeah. Yeah. And, honestly, I had a discussion with a fellow West Indian, and we were both saying how we were kind of upset that Afrobeats is so huge.
Oh, no.
Not soca. And it's like, but we were here first. Like, wait a
minute. I will say this. So Afrobeats, first of all, soca is a derivative of African music. Absolutely. That's where it's from. The drums and all the instrumentation and all of that is literally a derivative of calypso, which is derived obviously from our ancestors, from slave where it's from. So we pay homage to, and I love that Afrobeats is all of a sudden popping, but it's like, okay, where have y'all been? Because it's been popping.
Right.
So, but at the end of the day, I do feel like soca somehow is getting kind of sideswiped at this, at this important time, when it should be at the forefront, like I said, because it's such an important music for the time and for our culture. What I will say is that these things can work together and be in unison together. It's all about, I've been having interesting conversations, Renee, with a lot of people in the radio space, and also program directors, and also record executives, about the gatekeepers. And that's really, as a part of society, why we have all the barriers that we have. So the gatekeeper at a PR company that's looking and saying, okay, well, let's hire her, not her. The casting director that's saying, oh, well, let's hire him, not her. Or that's classified. You know what I'm saying? The guy in the corporate space who's running iTunes that says, oh, no, it's all world music. Just put it all under that category. The gatekeepers it's such an important time to call them out on the BS gently, if we must, but there has to be more heightened awareness about their role when they're making decisions at an agency of who's going to get hired for this role, a casting director who's going to get picked for this, or whatever the situation is. It's an actual human being that's making that decision with that person with their own biases. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that person that has a lack of education maybe on, okay, well, hold on a second. Why isn't SOCA its own subcategory? Here's why it should be, you know? And that's why I think it's very important to call the gatekeepers out, because they play such an important role sometimes on being the barriers of progress. They really do.
Yeah. So today I had a meeting and my friend said, nothing for us without us.
Yes.
And that's the thing with the gatekeepers. If all the gatekeepers look one way, meaning they're all white and they're all older males, then that's how we're missing out on all this other information. And that's how you're not getting, you know, diversity at the table and inclusion. So it is a very important thing. Nothing for us without us.
I think it's important too. I was having a conversation with an agency last week, 2 weeks ago on Blackout Tuesday, really calling them out for their lack of diversity inclusion, considering the fact that they are charged with and make money from so many brands that make trillions of dollars from people of color. Popeyes, Urban Decay, cosmetics. I mean, the list goes on and on of the amount of clients that she represented that people of color consume. And I said, it's got to be more than just the intern or the receptionist that's a person of color. It needs to be people who are in the decision-making process, your board members. There needs to be people of color throughout all spaces. And so it's about holding the corporations responsible as well for, hey, you know, P&G, who are you hiring to represent your brand? Because P&G may not know, but there is a disconnect that's happening along the way. If P&G says, here are all our brands that we represent, we're going to have an agency be the funnel to get that information in terms of content, advertising, marketing to the masses. That agency now is the gatekeeper of that, of who gets the dollars, of who, of what it looks and feels like, and all of it. So it's important for us to hold the corporation responsible for making sure that they are hiring an agency that represents truly and believes in diversity and inclusion and it is intentional about it. So again, to your friend's point, we have to be a part of that decision making too, or we have to move our money somewhere else. But
exactly.
This whole, you know, boycott this and boycott that, I feel like, let me give, and I'm just throwing it out because this is not, you know, it's just an example. Let's give Coca-Cola a chance to step up to the plate before we just are done.
Cancel them. Yeah.
Point. Yeah. So we're quick to cancel people, but let's make sure that we're giving them a chance to do the right thing first. You know?
Definitely, definitely. So please tell me, what are we to look forward to in your company? What are the amazing projects you have going that we'll see or be able to, you know, participate in and be active in?
So I have 2 immediately coming down the pipeline that I'm launching. One is a digital series. It's going to be specifically focused. I've definitely got two passion projects that I have to get off the pipe before September. So one is called Money Moves. I've really been focused on being more financially savvy in this time during quarantine. I didn't want to just sit by and not take advantage of the opportunities, but not really put my money to work. So in order to do that, I took the time to get really savvy on that. So stocks and the stock market has been a huge passion for me. So I'm rolling that out because I want to be able to share that information with people. So it's going to be a weekly series specifically on making money and how to do it, and just really educational, but in a, you know, with a fun Caribbean twist, because I feel like our people need to make sure that they're not getting left out of the conversation as it relates to finances and stocks and all of that. So Money Moves with BJ is happening this July, but also in conjunction. So 2 things actually. I launched Cafe Mocha to Go, which is an extension of Cafe Mocha Travels that I was doing, but now obviously there's no traveling happening. Cafe Mocha to Go really is a quick 5 5-minute interview series that I'm doing with Cafe Mocha Radio, and it lives on the platform on their website. And so every week I'm interviewing, different people. This morning I just had an awesome conversation with Raj Register. She's the
I love Raj
at Ford and the multicultural director at Ford. I'm butchering her title. Her title is actually pretty fantastic. The head of growth, audience marketing, and communications at Ford. But talking about all the new initiatives, and obviously Ford is so embedded into the Essence experience, and because Essence is going virtual this year, they're doing a really cool collaboration with Ford, and it's launching like
today.
Today. Mm-hmm. So Cafe Mocha to go is up, and it's on cafemocharadio.com. You can check that out. And then the last one is Industry Shift. So it is a little baby project that I really have had it kind of on the back burner, like we talked about, that I've been wanting to get off the table, and it's finally time. So it's called Industry Shift. I'm going to be launching a new episode weekly as well. And it's really just about talking to people like you and different people in the industries I work in, and post-COVID, what are industry, people in PR, in music, in the hotel space, cruise lines, everything, going to be doing differently, and what can consumers and customers expect as they get and venture back out into the world. So Industry Shift also launches this July. It's going to be a busy July.
Awesome. What is your website? I just want to make sure I typed the right thing.
Absolutely. It's vanessajamesmedia.com.
That's what I thought. So there it is, you guys. And you can find all of these things there. I know, because I know her. She's going to make sure it's all there. But please tell everyone your social handles so they can go and check you out.
Absolutely, Renee. Anybody that's looking at this can follow me at Vanessa James Media.
Awesome. And so she's on IG, you guys. You'll see she posts all the time. She does awesome, of course, stories, videos, and all of that, and talks about all these great experiences that she has. And hopefully we will be traveling again soon.
Hopefully. I've had to turn down 2 press trips. I'm like, I would love to, but I can't. How am I going to get there? So yeah. I think a lot of us content creators are, taking a look at when we may be able to dip our pinky toes back in the sand. It looks like it's going to be a little bit longer than everyone's anticipating, because Americans don't like to listen.
Thank you.
And wear their masks and follow rules. So the people that actually want to get back out and start working are now more delayed. But I'm hoping that that we're able to do that again.
Yeah, I'm praying for by the end of the year. I actually am planning a retreat on the lovely island of Antigua, and I really would like to go.
To be able to, yes.
Right. And the other people that want to go. So we want to go. And not to mention, I almost feel like we might be better over there than we are here, because I think they handle things a whole lot better everywhere but the US.
Exactly. I've actually thought about, could I be mobile with my studio in Trinidad for the next 6 months? The answer is yes, but how am I going to get there? They won't even open the border up to it.
I know. That's the one little issue. But hey, we're going to get it figured out. Because I was like, if I have to go in quarantine for 2 weeks when I get there, well, then that might be what I have to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I saw a video of a couple. They went to Jamaica. They're there now. And very, very, very interesting, the whole experience. They went from here to Jamaica. Miami, actually. This couple, and they posted on IGTV. I'll share it with you.
They went viral. I saw.
Oh, you saw? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw. And I thought it was really interesting because she was so candid, right, about her experience. And so, unfortunately, I think that Jamaica has seen an uptick.
I know.
In cases now. And then you have a lot of tourists coming that are like, well, we don't want to wear our masks. So that's a whole nother thing. So I don't know. I just feel like in order for us to all move forward as a collective society, we're going to need to really collectively work together. And that means doing the basic stuff. Listen, Dr. Fauci said, wear your mask, honey.
Right. I tell everyone, listen to him. If you don't listen to anybody, please listen to him.
Fauci said, social distance, wash your hands, and wear your mask. That's it. Let's go, people.
Right. Exactly. So I don't know about you in Trinidad Carnival next year. I saw the announcements yesterday. We're thinking about 2022, but I don't know.
I'm actually happy for Trinidad in this respect. And I got a little bit of backlash when I said this because I think Carnival is so popular and has obviously attracted global attention. But I think that a lot of times too, because of that, a lot of locals have been priced out of Carnival because the prices were just going up and up for the fetes, the experiences, and the costumes. So because this looks like for 2021 is going to be more of a regional Carnival and not welcoming guests from the U.S. and Europe, I think it gives Trinis and it gives people that are from Antigua and Barbados and Grenada and Vinci coming in to Trinidad, because they'll be able to travel to experience the Carnival, more of a boutique Carnival. And man, maybe hopefully they'll live stream it, because I have a feeling that it would be complete vibes, because it's just Caribbean. I'm kind of happy that, first of all, you can never tell a Trini that they're not going to have their Carnival. They tried that one time in like 30 years to say no Carnival for the year. It didn't go well. The Prime Minister was like, sorry, we changed our mind. So I do feel like they'll end up having a Carnival, Renee. It'll just be more boutique and more scaled down. But maybe that's what they need in order to have a restart and then do it bigger in 2022. I think that as Carnival continues to become more commercialized, some people have pushed back and said that it's kind of losing its true essence, and maybe this is a collision point of tradition and modern age of Carnival, and seeing where those things can meet, and then where can that happy marriage be so that they can thrive from there. It's going to be a good opportunity for those who to participate, still make their money. I think one of the biggest things is, sadly seeing all the Carnival DJs and the artists, this is their time to make their money and continue to promote their music. And so they've kind of been silenced and muted a little bit. So I'm just happy that they'll be able to get back out there and start doing things again too.
Yeah. So we should, like I said, 2022 is what my family is thinking, that we will get back to Trinidad. Last year we did Antigua Carnival as well, which was just fabulous. It was just wonderful. It was just like,
I have yet to make it to Antigua Carnival, but if it's anything like Grenada and Vinci, I know it's pure vibes.
Yes, it was wonderful. Your boy, of course, Marshall, was there. He played with another band. He didn't play with us, but we had an awesome time.
I did see that. I did.
Yeah. But thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you, and good luck and God bless and much success, because I know all the things are going to be amazing. I will be watching and subscribing and everything and sharing. So everyone, please make sure you go to her website, follow her, check her out. Anybody who needs voiceover work, look, she is amazing and been a great person for me to reach out to, because I actually, many people don't know, took voiceover lessons years ago, have my little demo. And so she and I, I've been back and forth like, okay, what do I do? What do I say? So hopefully I actually got a call back for something. So we'll see, right? We'll see what happens. Thank you. So we shall see what happens. But thank you, everyone. And we will see you on the next episode of the Ask Dr.